morning, everyone. On October 31st, 1894, the Lyric Theater opened its doors for the very first time. And it's had amazing people performing on that stage for the last 125 years. And Saturday night, one of the greatest, or if not the greatest group from Motown performed, The Temptations. And joining me this morning is Big Daddy himself, Mr. Otis Williams. Otis, welcome back to Baltimore, sir.
I love coming to Baltimore. We have been coming to Baltimore since 1962, and I know I just dated myself.
All right, well, let's go back to the 1962, okay?
Okay.
So you guys, you formed the group.
Yes.
Okay, and you get #1 hit, and you get big.
Right.
And then, did you think back then, 60 years later, that you would still be performing, and you'd still be filling houses, and people would still love you?
Well, we didn't know. I mean, we only wanted to sing, and here we are 60 years almost to that point of time, and it's been great coming to Baltimore. But, you know, like most groups or singers, all we wanted to do was sing, make records, and have a hit, you know, and just enjoy ourselves. So here we are now. It is 2019. Long time to be coming to one of the cities that we love.
Long time. Let's go back to your first hit, My Girl.
Yes.
Do you remember where you were the first time you heard that on the radio and how excited you were?
Well, I tell you, I was in Detroit, you know, and I told Smokey after he finished, you know, recording us and adding the strings and horns, and I told Smokey up in the studio, in the control room, I said, I don't know how big a record this is going to become, but Smokey, I think we got one. Now, the record was released December of 1964. February of 1965, we were at the Apollo Theater, and Berry Gordy sent us a telegram congratulating us that we were #1 and sold over 1 million copies, as well as the Beatles sent us a telegram congratulating us.
How cool is that?
Yes, yes.
Now talking about Berry Gordy, he opened up Motown like 1959. Just recently, he retired.
Yes.
How cool was it working with him?
Well, it's been a wonderful adventure.
Okay.
You know, he taught us a lot, and he gave us. I love Berry because, see, we recorded like 8 or 9 singles before we got The Way You Do the Things You Do. Most recording companies will not give an artist those many chances, you know, but he believed in us so that he kept us going into the studio until Smokey came up with The Way You Do the Things You Do, and we have been rolling ever since.
Ever since. You know, I'm lucky, fortunate enough to be grown up in a time period in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
And, you know, every time, to this day, when I hear a Temptation song, music is magical.
Yes.
and timeless.
Yes.
And it puts me back to teen center where I was trying to meet girls and trying to dance. I couldn't do either one. But speaking about dancing, you guys were not only musically harmony perfect, you had those dance steps.
Yes.
They called it the Temptation steps.
Temptation walk.
Walk.
Yeah.
So was that as much work as learning the music?
Well, you know, we put effort into, you know, being known for our precision, and I have to give accolades to the late, great Paul Williams, because he was the one that initiated us in doing the choreography, and then later came the great Charlie Atkins. So we had 2 great teachers teaching us about how to, you know, be on stage.
Oh, you set the bar to all the groups coming in.
Thank
now,
you.
you know what? Now, like I said, October 31st is going to be the 125th anniversary of the Lyric Theater.
Right.
And October 30th is your birthday.
Absolutely.
So everybody from Baltimore loves you. And look, I got yourself a Baltimore T-shirt.
Oh, wow.
Bow tie T-shirt. You guys always wear those bow ties.
That's
so we
right.
thought about you.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you what, I appreciate your time with me. And one more question. My wife saw the play in New York City.
Yes.
Okay, and she said it was the best play she ever saw. Were you instrumental in that?
Yeah, well, it's taken from my book that, you know, did very well. And I had a chance to meet with the guys that are portraying us. And Ephraim, who's playing David Ruffin, I told him up in Berkeley, California, I said, now, if you really want to capture the essence of the Temps, the original Temps, I said, David had a thing of where he would throw the microphone up, spin around, drop to his knees, and as the mic would come down, he would grab it and continue singing. I said, if you grab that, you'd have the Temptations.
And he did it.
And he did it.
I tell you, my wife, like I said, my wife said it's a great, and hopefully it'll come to Baltimore this year.
Oh, yeah, well, next year.
And next year, you guys are celebrating your 60th anniversary, right? And
Yeah.
I heard you're going on a world tour. You ready for that?
Yeah, stay ready. You know, we've been doing this for so long, you know, it's just like the ever-ready bunny. We just keep on keeping on.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got, this was pre-recorded on Saturday when you got to go in, they're bugging me and say, hey, we need him. You're going to go in and perform right now.
Yes.
And I tell you what, you're like number 2 act to see here at the Lyric because I saw Aretha Franklin. So
Riri.
yeah, so I love Aretha and I love
Me
you.
too.
And
Me
it's
too.
not bad being number 2 up to her.
Oh,
You know that?
we got to give the queen the credit.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, my guest has been Big Daddy, Mr. Otis Williams, the founder of the Temptations, and I can't thank you enough for joining me today.
My pleasure.
And one,
Thank you.
can I get a quick selfie?
Yes.
All right, we'll get a selfie. All right, they'll have him in a minute. They're still bugging me. They said, we need him to get on stage. So hold on a second. Let me get my phone working here. All right, here we go. And 3, 2, 1. There you have it.
Got
Back
it.
to you guys.